sure that all of the buttons are rolling and ready to go. And I am on the right and I'm not. Okay. It looks like I'm streaming. I really hope I am. Hi, Serena. All right, is video good? I'm hoping video is all good and then we are good to go here. You guys, hello, welcome. My name is Christine Morier. There I go. Welcome. My name is Christine Morier. And today is June 1st, 2026. And let's just get going on this show. There we go. 1-2 Radio Land. Hello, everyone. I'm so happy to be here with all of you guys. I am over at I'm over at YouTube on my channel at Christine Dumas. Come on over and join the chat. And we will be talking today about all things numerology. It is June. And the flip of it's the arc of the year as we begin to tip into the new, the downward spiral that we go nice and easy towards the back end of this powerful year that we're in 2026. All right, you guys. So if you don't know what your personal year number is, I want you to jump into one of my multitude of videos, and there's write-ups right there for how you figure out what your personal number is. It's really super easy, you guys, to do. You take your day and your month of your birth, you add those two numbers together, and you want to reduce that down to a single digit, 1 through 9. All right, so if you get a double digit, just kick it down until you get to a single digit. And then I'll do the math for you. Add a 1, 2026 adds up to a 1. And this is what we're working with, right? So you do all the math there. May 1st is my birthday. 5 plus 1 is 6. I add 1 to it, 7. I'm in a 7 personal year in 2026. Okay. So before we get launched on that, I want to let you know that every Monday I am hosting a remote healing gathering. I do this every Monday from 5 to 5:30 Pacific Standard Time. And this is a session that is a community-based session where I facilitate Kundalini energy, and that's basically just life force energy that I share with you. So it's not. There's always there's so much conversation or discussion around how does that actually work. And I keep on promising you guys I will do a show about that. But essentially, there is a transference of energy that I hold for the collective group. I am a physical medium, and when you couple that together with understanding how resonance fields actually work and how our bodies partner with those resonance fields in order to facilitate restabilizing, it's like just taking the compression of energy itself that is, we translate that to physical pain in the body or mental noise where we just can't seem to slow down our minds and our feelings are just all over the place, right? That what happens in these sessions for me is I can feel where all of the wobbles and the fissures are, and then I work to give it space and to restabilize it and to bring it into a more balanced state. it's really a nice way to be looking at it and to understand it in order for somebody to even be interested in experiencing a remote healing session. All right. The link is in our room here, and you'll just want to register for it. It's through 12academy.com, which is one of the 3 legs of Mark Husson's company that we work at as seers and teachers and healers. So you guys do come and join me. It's also on my 12Listen homepage, where you can also, if you need to talk to me, you can find me there, and I can help you with whatever you've got on your plate as well. All right. So Quayle is in the house. Hello, Quayle. Thanks for being here, my dear. Hope you are well. Blessed Monday to you as well, honey. Okay, let's get to chatting about June and the architecture of June for all of us. June is a month of the family, and it's community, and it's leadership oriented within that family and within the architecture of 6. So a really nice way to be able to understand this is to see the month's energy, that it's sitting underneath the year's energy. So it's like a pyramid that we're all working with when it comes to the numbers themselves. 2026, it's a 10 frequency. What 10 means is it's actually a 1, but this cycle of 10, 11, and 12 in the next handful of years is a really important time to lock and load the things that you've been sitting on for a long time, right? That it's time to move, it's time to change, it's time to bring in the things that in any aspect in life, but really it's what makes up life here, where we live, how we're making our money, what we're doing inside of all of it. It's the base of being a human being here, right? And so what's underneath that top of the pyramid right now is the 6 energy, and the 6 is about family and community. Obviously, this is what our lives are made up of, who we're spending our time with, who we are in relationship with, how that relationship is functioning, and it's community-based, all right? So it looks like your family of origin. It looks like personal relationships that are in the group, all right? For some of the numbers, the community energy sits in the global realm, and also the personal realm. But this is about the support system that's not only around us, but that we provide as a back and forth give and take. Lots of people say that 6 feels like the vacation month. Kids are, wrapping up school, and plans are being made, and getaways are happening. And while that's true, it's the arc of the bell curve, where there's just a little bit of slower energy here, more mindful of how we're doing in community, all right? Every personal year sits beneath that number 6 and is connected to the number 6 itself. And you've got your own movement with your personal year moving through this 6 energy. How you're going to impact it is through the bogey and the target that you have right in front of you at your disposal, right? So if I try to weave in the visual that I know is fact, just like I know numerology so well, in helping people understand how does this actually work? What are the mechanics of this? we're always moving. And we have these basic things in our lives that make up our lives. It's going to the grocery store, or it's, you know, taking care of our bodies and going to work, and the relationships that are in our lives, and planning vacations, or I don't know, you guys, there's so many things that make up life, right? And we live it day in and day out and day in and day out. We're parents, we're grandparents, we're siblings, and there's just this movement of life. Numerology helps with understanding what that structure is all about, because note that we are not personally lost in the description of how I'm explaining this. We're very important as we move through it, because all of us here are here for a reason, and we matter, and our contribution matters. So if you have the one energy, which is all about your own creative, vision, and what is moving inside of this global society, our global humanity, there's something profound that's happening, a flip of the wheel, if you will. And it's going to keep moving in a powerful way for the next couple of years, a handful of years here. 3 years total if you include this one that we're in. And then underneath it are is the 6 energy. And then underneath that 6 energy is you. And your personal year that you're in. You understand what the bogey and the target is within the 12-month cycle. And how you're going to impact and work with the whole breakdown here is by the target that you've got for inside of every month, all right? So one personal year, I'm going to give you an example. 1 plus 6 is 7. How you one pinners are going to impact the community 6 energy is through all the specifics that 7 frequency holds. How you're going to impact your community is 7. 2 pins, how you're going to impact your community is through the 8 energy. 9 pins, how you're going to impact that 6 frequency is through what? Test. 9 energy, right? Okay, so let's start this process, and I will start with the ones. 1, you're building something new. You have a 6 frequency, family, community, hearth, and home. And the 7 energy is your bogey and your target of how you're going to impact it. It's the number of the lawyer. It's the number of the mystic. It is highly focused on deep connection to you as a spiritual being. And that sits right here at the very heart and core of who you are. The heartbeat of you. Your body would not be able to function and move if your spirit wasn't residing inside of it, giving it consciousness, right? And so you impacting your community is going to be through this deep-seated, heart-centered wisdom that sits at the very core of your essence of who you are. And that sometimes requires being a little quieter and contemplative. Anytime anybody is working with a 7 energy, you need a little bit more time to yourself, and just not so many words, right? Words with a 7 frequency go up against its very nature, which sits in the realm of no words and deep, heart-centered, intuitive awareness. The impact for you, the key for you, is to be incredibly mindful when you are speaking with others and bringing your wisdom forward consciously and proactively with the words that you're using, to try to slow things down enough that you can listen to the truth of your knowingness and your connection to something that is greater than, we can understand, and to bring that into conversation, and to bring that also into planning and execution of that planning. All right. So you and your relationship with community is going to be the mystic energy, right? You impacting your community is through this energy. Relating to your community is through this energy. Okay? For 6 itself, the need to be present, to be of service, to put in your time, your tangible resources, but your intangible resources are in play. How do we care and how do we love one another? It requires time. It requires making the time so that you can impact in a way that is what? Positive and helpful and nurturing, and in a way it's a teaching number. It's what we're supposed to be doing inside of the groups that make up our home and our families, whether they're family of origin and also family of choice, right? This is where we lean in and we support one another. So ones, you're going to be doing this through the 7 energy, and that's just beautiful, isn't it? I want you to watch out for, and for all the pins, I'm going to make short videos for all of you for your do's and your don'ts. So you don't have to worry too much about this. We're just having a conversation. And I don't even know why I write notes, because I just go off the top of my head. 7, the thing to look out for is to not trust this. It's like the opposite of everything I just said. You want to lean into trusting yourself. And note that when there is this deep awareness that's sitting in the very center of your heart, what is not there is the drop-down list of I don't trust, I'm paranoid, I feel, like this is not a safe place for me to be, and therefore I'm not gonna engage, and I'm going to start saying no to all these things because I don't trust you. Yeah, 7 can be a very challenging number to work with, and if you just know what the underbelly is of 7, you're gonna do just fine, you guys, I promise. Okay, so let's move to 2. 2 and 6 together have a marvelous time. It also could just be the perfect storm, because both numbers need to know when to say no. They need to know where the boundaries sit for overgiving and overextending. And if you put on top of it, if you know that you are a psychic individual, if you know that you have emotional intelligence, that you're aware, you work with it, you're at greater risk of feeling taken advantage of, all right? Over indexed. The emotional bank account will be overdrawn just like that. So you're going to want to make sure that you know when to step back and let others step forward, and then to retreat, take care of yourself the way that you're taking care of other people. Yes? All right. That's just a little note I got to get in there for the 2s. how you're going to impact the opportunities that you will have to contribute to the community is through the number 8. And that is about money, commerce, resource. And usually when you've got the surge of the 8 energy, what comes, assets are there. Money is there. You're probably going to have a big push surge of cash flow in the month. And this could come from working with others in your community. Work is also a community. Yes, there was a question that was asked. Work is obviously, yes, of course it is. And collaborating with others in a really conscious way that includes building something that is going to produce some form of commerce, and it's for the collective good of all. The 8 energy is the philanthropist, and it is thinking about how to make this world a better place, while also in our personal lives, what we're doing is we are generating our creativity towards the life that we want to live, right? How we want to live, where we want to live, what we want, what we're doing inside of all of it. So for the 2 personal year, you guys, think about carefully how, if you know something is coming and you know that assets are coming and you know it's going to come through your work and you know you will be working hard, there's not a lot of downtime. When the 7 energy is there, there's more downtime. With 8, you're up and you're out and you're collaborating and you're working with other people and you're creating something that's really good for your portfolio and your business, but it's also a collective movement. So keep your eye on maintaining success, abundance, prosperity for the good of all. The danger that happens with 8 is that oftentimes you can fall into hoarding of resources because you just don't know what the other side looks like or if there's going to be enough. And that can get you into some tricky waters. It's these internal catches and hinges that happen where we might not be speaking in a forthright manner, just kind of hedging our bets, not really being a team player and thinking outside of the box. Note that for your 2 energy, you really have to keep an eye on that connection of diplomacy and working collaboratively with others. So, 8 energy is at your disposal, you guys. So, and I'll go into further detail in the shorts that I'm going to upload. 3s, community. How is 3 and 6 going to work together in order to, what is 3 going to bring to this community number? And it's the energy of 9. 9 is focused on cleaning up stuff that it just doesn't work anymore. It doesn't work in relationships. It doesn't work in how those relationships are functioning. It might be something as simple as needing to finally get around to decluttering things, giving away pieces in your home or your office that just need to be released because you don't use them anymore and they're taking up space. And so it's an external check of taking up space. And it's also an internal check of what else is taking up space inside of how you're thinking, how you're feeling. A lot of times the 9 energy also highlights something that's super uncomfortable for folks. And it's holding on to relationships that are being asked to let go. They've outlasted their time. And so the 9 energy says it's time to look towards the future. Because guess what's coming for all of you 3-pinners? Next month is a 1. And so we're basically just cleaning up shop. That's what's happening here. We're having a look around. We're cleaning up. We're donating. We're giving away. One man's trash is another man's gold, you know? Yeah. And a woman as well. Yes. And so the release is important, and so is the intangible release of behaviors, how you're relating. Note the 3 energy is about your unique voice, how you show up in the world, how you're being you. And are you being you effectively to all that you are? When we bring 9 energy into this, 9 energy says, what can you clean up? That's not authentically you, right? That's an intangible, very important thing. How are you thinking about things? How are you functioning here? Yeah. So the funny thing about 9 is a lot of people think that it's a rest energy, and I always, because it's not sexy and it's not exciting. No, it's assessing and looking around and saying, okay, wait a minute, what's being asked to be let go of? All right, I'll go into further detail, definitely, about that little 3-6-9 combo for you guys soon enough. Four energies. You've got your wait a minute. Yep, I got this right. 4 energy in a 6 personal year. The driving force for you of where you're going to be able to make an impact is the energy of 1. 1 is about your unique, creative, vibrant force that sees a vision, and it is autonomously connected to you in some way, shape, or form. And so what it means to me is that more than likely what is going to happen is you will see opportunities where you're going to be able to drop in unique ideas, start new things, create something that's going to help things function better. Oftentimes, you know, when I've seen this combination before, there's a building that's going on. There is a structure, a physical structure that is created and built. It could be a play set in the backyard, but it's uniquely yours. It could be something like a community center. It could be, I don't know, building a mother-in-law addition to a house, or a space in a house for somebody in your community who needs love and care. It also could be sitting around business, building something that is just completely incredible and launching based on your own volition and your own vision. This is also the architecture of community and business. And the structure that you've been building, you get to finally bring it in and put it down, and it becomes a thing. It becomes something that is active and begins. It's like it begins to take shape. It has a heartbeat, right? So whatever this is for you, 4-pinners, Just know that the connection is your unique self that is sitting inside of your community that has an opportunity to put something boots on the ground, okay? All right. Hi, Claire. Claire is here. Hello, my dear. Happy Monday to you as well. I'm so glad you're here. All right, fives. Your bogey and your target is 2. How 2 is going to be functioning inside of the community setting, talking to people, relating to one another, being the diplomat that is going to broker maybe difficult situations that require your attention and your time and your focus, effort. effort. Here we have this slow month, and yet the effort and the commitment and the patience to show up in relationship in the larger community is loud. And so for the 5 pin, this is a little bit of a slowing down experience, coming back into community and then connecting. And in that way, it's a taking a minute, taking a break from the rapid movement that has happened through your year and bringing it home to hearth and home, family hearth and home. I want you to just take note about the a 2 and a 5 energy, they clash. And if you know this ahead of time, you're going to have something to work with, which is slow yourself down, let yourself experience relationship just for a moment, let yourself be present with it, and connect deeply, enjoy yourself. There's a lot of creative play with the 2. And also stay in the building. Stay present. Don't bounce out of conversations. Don't bounce out of hard conversations. If there's something that's on the table, you're like, oh, these 2 people are fighting, right? That's a normal thing, right? Or there's a big disagreement going on in the family. There's a big disagreement going on at work, that you have the ability to slow down, to listen, to be present when honestly, and broker a situation that is towards resolution. And that is in perfect alignment with your 5 energy of change. When something needs to be like shook up and made new, what better spot to have that happen than in a 5 personal year, which is all about change. And it's crazy how loaded that is, the 5 energy with change, right? So yours is relationship. Yes, in a community relationship month. And I'm just going to tell you guys, take a beat, take a minute. Life picks up next, in its speed next month for you with the 3 energy. 6s. You're in a 6 month, so this is a lot happens in the coupling. When the couplings come together like that 6 month in a 6 personal year, 7 month in a 7 personal year, you can definitely expect to reap the rewards of what you've created in that month. It's a apex of coming together of what you have been building towards for the entire year. And if it comes early in the year, this is just a deeper conversation about how these cycles overlap with other cycles that are going on. But the impact is similar. If it's a 1-1, it's a big push launch, and then a slow build that's going to build up to October, November, December. All right. If it's 2, again, it's pretty quick out of the gate in February, and then you've got this build. Somebody has got to remind me to do that show because that's really important. So 6-6, this is important. It's sitting in the base of your bogey and target for the entire year, and the energy is 6. Wow, how are you doing with community and being a leader inside of your community? How are you doing with that? You're going to have wonderful opportunities to be able to bring that out even farther. The opportunities sit in how you work with your bogey and your target of 3. Creativity, thinking outside of the box, play, dynamic exploration of imagination, being uniquely yourself. Being uniquely yourself, speaking from the very core of who you are, and bringing that energy to your family, to your work environment, that you are nurturing others and being present with others by your Pied Piper, beautiful essence of who you are. And you're coming up with creative solutions to everyday problems. And you're also coming up with creative ideas for play, for, trips that are new and interesting and dynamic, and support the people around you to be more of who they are by you being a living example of it. Yeah. That's pretty powerful coupling, isn't it? How am I doing on time? I'm good. I got to go. Okay. So 6s, enjoy this. But you know what your bogey and your target is, right? 7s. I'm in a 7 personal year right now. Your target here is 4. So what kind of community are you functioning inside of right now? And what is the structure and the stability that you're bringing into it? Whether it's a macro community of a global community, or a micro community that looks like, your little boat of your tribe, of your family. What is it that you're bringing in to this 6 frequency that looks like stability and structure, orders, systems, not skipping a step? Build, 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 build. Yeah. There are parts and parcels with this 7-4 coupling, which is taking the mystic energy, which has, for all of us who are in a 7, it's not the most comfortable year to get through because it is excavating the deeper truths of why we're here, having this crazy life experience with a world that seems pretty upside down right now, right? And then thinking about our, that's macro, and then coming in thinking about the micro of our families and our communities, and how do we bring that energy so that it flows into a structure that we can create, we can build, we can make it better, we can fortify, we can shore something up. This is our work that we have in front of us in June, 7 pinners. And that is going to look like tangible work. It's not philosophical work. It looks like tangible boots on the ground work where you're creating something. And that something has got to really have a solid spine to keep it upright for what's coming next month, which is a 5. You build a boat, and an analogy, you build a boat, but you don't make sure that it's airtight. It's not going to make it very far out, going 50 miles an hour, in the weather and in the open seas. So this is a building month for you guys, all right? And supporting community You're going to build support in community. 8s, you are in a 5 frequency. These two can get a little dangerous, and so and they're also incredibly powerful. 8 is in a 6 frequency of community, and how 8s are going to be able to impact for the greater good is through change. It's through bringing in new ways of doing things, adventure, and kind of having the courage to try out different ways of functioning. Right. 5, adventure. 8s lots of times in a 6 month will go on vacation. Or they'll go jump out of airplanes, so that they've always wanted to do it, or they'll do something that is, the physical body is being taken out to do all these wonderful new things. And that can look like a lot of different stuff, right? In a 6 energy, though, the impact for you is going to be to bring to your community adventure, to bring something new out of the routine, bring to your community, whatever that community is. Again, adventure, change, shaking up the tree, something that is, it might be a little bit far-fetched, but it's bringing in new energy that is somehow it's going to impact you guys moving into the 6 frequency next month, where you come back into community. All right, so have a think about that. I will talk to you all more about that in the shorts. And then lastly, 9s. 9s are going to impact the 6 frequency with 6 frequency. 9, this is a repetitive pattern for the 9 personal year for every single month. It's a doubling up of the month and bogey number itself. So what that means for you, 9 pins, is the impact you will have on your community is getting in there with nurturing and being a leader and loving and being present, offering a listening ear, offering, your hands and your body for help, making dinners and running to appointments, picking up the phone, making plans. So there's health concerns always in a 6 with our loved ones. And there is also parties and gatherings and, weddings. A lot of weddings happen in 6 as well. And so it's a doubling up of being of service in this way, and also understanding that there is a line that you're really going to have to keep an eye on to not cross that line, because that's the overgiving. When the 6 energy loses sight of healthy boundaries, because there is a point when, as you're teaching somebody to do for themselves, it doesn't matter what it is. If you have an assistant that you're teaching at work, in order for them to be able to move on to, the next level, you're teaching and you're sharing your wisdom. And there is a point when you've got to step back and let them take off and do it for themselves. Have a go at it. The flip side is feeling like a doormat because everybody else isn't doing it right, and you become a perfectionist, and you start to scrub down the bathroom with a toothbrush that nobody's, your way or the highway type thing. And then you start to get a little bit jaded. You feel like the doormat whoever stops and thanks a doormat, right? where they wipe their shoes on. You can get stuck in that dynamic, and that is just a very messy place to get out of. I'm going to say it's not good, it's not bad, it's a reaction. And unwinding that, because it gets into your mental field and you start to have these thoughts that are actually not correct, because it's gonna shine back on you, where all roads lead back to ourselves, where you'll have that moment of, yeah, I need to find the place where I respect myself, and I also am respecting everybody else that is a part of this bigger exchange, narrative, and story, right? So that's what I'm going to say for the nines working in June. And let me just kind of circle back around about the anchor of this, of 6, and what's coming on the bell curve, moving down to completion in December as we all prepare to launch into the 7 in 2027. Isn't that crazy? That's a crazy thought. We're sitting in a community space where I want everybody to consider something important, that all of us here are working collectively together to find a way to respect one another, and to find a way to acknowledge the innate connection that we all have in spirit. And so as we are sitting in a celebratory spot that is global, that we are a beautiful global family, we also can slow down and we can see how we are in our own lives practicing exclusionary practices. You know, communities can be incredibly inclusive within themselves and incredibly exclusive within themselves, right? And that sits around how we perceive the bigger picture of our global humanity. The opportunity that's here is to work through some of the stuff that we have got cooking in our belief systems that say, oh, yeah, no, I exclude you. Oh, and I exclude you. And I exclude you. It is a tricky little spot to be in when we shift our focus to seeing how we practice exclusionary belief systems in our behavior and how we move through every day. To really take a peek at why are we thinking what we're thinking about that person, that demographic, that community. What is the etymology that's behind why we are practicing exclusion and how we think? You know, it's one thing to be in a field of, you know, awareness when we're looking out and we're saying, yeah, I think that perspective is solid and great. It's an intellectual exercise, and then we adopt it as our own, right? We adopt it as our own, and we go, yeah, that sounds good enough to me. I'll adopt that. It could be, you know, how we believe, the religion that we're connected to, and the people that we hang out with and the viewpoints they're connected to, all the way down to ourselves and how we identify with all that. It's an intellectual exercise, and at some point it kind of does become a lived exercise, where it just gets into, this is my perception of how I see the world. And note, I'm talking about the community number of 6. And when we look at it in a way that we really are bringing it home to ourselves, how am I doing in community? How am I doing with the idea of a global community? This number is global. Every part of our world is sitting with the June energy of 6. Whole world sitting with the energy of 1 for the year. What's happening here? And can we be the leader that practices inclusion? And we are inclusive. It's not based on race, religion, socioeconomic strata, sexual identification and orientation. You know, the list. Where we can catch it inside of ourselves and say, I think I need to work on that. Communities are communities. They come in all different shapes and sizes, you guys. And in all those communities, there is just a batch of belief systems that kind of just get baked in organically by default. And it takes a lot of courage for us in this one global year, in a 6 frequency, to look at how am I doing? How am I doing with this? And how can I make a difference in a way that supports other people inside of myself, right? Right. I'm just at 3 minutes, you guys. Yeah. Pretty soon I'm going to be shifting these shows to conversations that are more like the one that I just had. Because the more voices that are talking in this way, in a supportive way, not in a judgmental way, in a way that is a safe place for us to look at biases that we have that exclude other people, humanity as, in these pockets. It's incredibly powerful how it starts to change our relationship with our own spirit housed in this body. And it brings our agency to the front, right? All right, kids, I'm at the end of the show. I want to remind everyone, if you need a reading with me, I'm over at 12listen.com. I'm there every day. Probably a little too much, but I love my job, and I just make it a point to be there for my clients if they need me. And if you'd like a session with me, I can help you out with whatever is going on. And also the remote healing is tonight. Spirit comes too in these healing sessions. It's like we got the whole ancestral tribe that usually comes along, and sometimes there are messages that comes through. But I never know. But I do share, and the session is recorded, and I send it out the next day. So you don't even need to be there live, but if you want, it's tonight from 5 to 5:30. All right, you guys, I'll be getting these shorts up probably in the next couple of days, and until next week, all the loves. I'll talk to everyone soon. Bye, guys. Bye, 12 Radio Land. I'll talk to you guys soon.